A little announcement before we start. I realized at the end that the camera was double-sided and we had a little troubleshooting. So unfortunately, you will see both of me on two cameras.
Okay, hello guys. Today we have our meeting during lockdown, and today we will talk about how managing stress and overcoming binge eating during the lockdown. And I want to introduce our speaker. It's Mihail Tuncik. This is health coach with more than 6 years of coaching experience, who is specializing in helping individuals to overcome emotional eating, break free from unhealthy habits, and reclaim their happiness back. I want to tell us about yourself, please, Mikhail. Small introduction.
Um, Hello, everyone. So, first of all, thank you for having me in here. So, my name is Mihail. My background, I came from a little country called Latvia, which is located in Eastern Europe. Been in the UK since 2006, and in the health and fitness industry, I am around 6, 7 years now. And yeah, I'm specializing in helping mostly women in overcoming binge eating and emotional eating and achieving sustainable weight loss results. So,
All right.
My first question for you, Mihail, why you choose especially women and I research your Facebook post, Instagram page. You more prefer working this woman, right?
Simply because when I just started back in the days working in the fitness industry, most of the clients of mine, they were women, and basically this allowed me to learn more and practice more with the women with what I'm kind of coaching and teaching. And since then, it's kind of developed as a proper kind of my target audience, and if you will, a niche. And yeah, I've been just diving into it and helping women all over the world to get rid of binge eating and help them to become a better and happier version of themselves.
Okay, now I start ask you about our topic. Okay, now all people in England should sit at home, center, swimming pool, all closed, and we struggle how we should manage our energy, and give some recommendation, please. What do you recommend? What we should do at home? How carry on to save our life more healthy and physical health, mental health? Give some recommendation for us, please.
I guess first of all, it all comes down to the goals, and every individual, everyone, man and woman, they have their own goals in their mind. So it is so important to start with just gain some clarity around what you want and what you're looking to achieve, and what bothers you and worries you daily, right? Because it is so important to get clear on what is that specifically you want to achieve or work on. And this gonna dictate of what you need to be focusing on. Is it going to be focusing more nutrition than exercise, or exercise than nutrition? How you're going to combine that and combine that? Because let's say if you're looking just to manage stress, or if you're looking to lose weight, if you're all right with the stress but you just want to lose weight, then you're probably going to be going kind of different directions and different paths. Because if you're looking to manage stress, it's all about just assessing first of all where does the stress is coming from. Okay, so it is so important to be analytical about your life and really thinking about, all right, what is happening inside of my life that is causing me all these stresses, right? Because without actually having the clarity and the whole truth around what stresses you have, and you just won't be able to draw up any sort of action plan or anything like that. And it is so important as you be as honest as possible with yourself and try to figure out what stresses you have inside in your life. And then based on that, you just need to work around how you can cope with the stresses, how you can use kind of what strategies you can do to reduce your stresses, like let's say spending more time outdoors, as it is a lockdown now, but you still can go out and about, and having a walk outside would definitely help you to get oxygenated, get some fresh air, and just be in a different environment, because sometimes you just need to get out from your house, to start feeling better. Or if you want to, let's say lose weight or something like that, and this is your primary goal, then of course need to be looking at what is causing you, what habits and routines and rituals do you have right now which are causing you to gain weight, or which are stopping you from losing weight on the first place. And then going from there, really just analyzing what you are doing, potentially what things you are doing that are never serving you, and working around reducing the stuff you are doing which makes you gain weight, and start doing something that would basically allow you to start losing weight. Let's say focus on exercise a little bit more, moving more daily, and also of course looking at your nutrition and what you're eating and things like that. Because as you previously mentioned, and as it is stated basically on my profile, that I'm specializing in binge eating and helping women to lose weight. The binge eating, I don't know if you know anything about the binge eating at all.
Not really. If you
No.
tell.
hmm So the binge eating, basically, it's where individual can consume, large amounts of foods and loses the control over the eating. Basically, this can be classified, and there is some sort of disorders as a binge eating disorder, as people really struggle, to regain the control over the food, and the causes could be either physical deprivation, so and restraint in terms of sometimes people are falling into assumption, all right, I need to lose weight, so I'm going to be restraining and restricting myself with the foods, and then they starve themselves. Then they are cutting down on all foods you love, only to later on binge all the foods they were restricting themselves from. And this makes them to gain even more weight back on, and they fall into that which called diet purge cycle, when they kind of realize they're putting weight, they think they need to diet, then they restrain, and then they binge again, and it's like a vicious cycle for them. And also there is another cause of the binge eating, which is more emotional side of it, like it's also called the emotional coping, when when in a way to deal with the stresses and emotions and feelings inside in your life, you are basically hiding and seeking the comfort behind the foods as a way to escape from feelings you are feeling internally. So you are trying to mask what is going on inside in your life, inside of your head and internally, with the food, basically, because food is associated with a sense of comfort, with a sense of pleasure and reward. And this is why a lot of men and women, they basically fall into assumption, all right, I'm gonna eat some food now because I'm feeling not great about myself, because they think will make them feel better, but in the end they're feeling shame, guilt, they are frustrated, because then they start to blame themselves even more. And because they're falling into that negative state again, guess what? They start to binge again and again and again. And this becomes like a habit for them, which is quite difficult without.
Like an addictive cycle where you fall into get more dopamine from the food
Absolutely.
instead of
Absolutely, there is
your.
plenty of research basically which is saying that when they do the scans of the brain, when they put people in the chamber, yeah, they do the scan, and they basically name the foods they love, basically. And what it's shown that the regions in the brain that gain activated are similar to those in, like, let's say drug addicts, cocaine addicts, and the alcohol and cigarette addicts. So it is for sure can be an addictive behavior for some people, and it can be quite severe, to be fair, as well. And it's all about seeking their reward and the ways how to feel better about themselves.
All right. Yeah. The next question: would be the program minimum of like, for example, what's the minimum time or exercise
a person, for example, our community would like to have an advice on how to spend more active time during the lockdown without a proper opportunity to go outside, go back to the gyms. What would your recommendation be? Maybe what to start from, what to look into, maybe yoga or stretches, and what's the time limits as well daily? The program minimum should be for staying healthy within releasing that body stress.
So we're talking about simply the stress, right? So this is the goal, reducing the stress. Yeah, am I correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So it's all about like the minimum time. I would say it's like daily, focusing something on daily. This is like the minimum. If you're feeling stress is daily, then ideally you should be working on reducing those stresses daily, right? Because the stress can affect all areas of your life. It can affect your performance, how you perform at work, how you think. It can affect what decisions you make on a daily basis. Because if you have really stressful work, if you have really stressful life, you've got kids at home, you stay indoors, and there is a lockdown, and you're feeling absolutely stressed out, then you might be making decisions based on impulse, too quick, and without even having a full awareness of what you are doing. So I would say it's all about doing some stuff daily, but I would say a combination of exercise, maybe even 10, 15, 20 minutes. It depends on your availability. First of all, you need to assess like what sort of time you have to commit to, right? Because it's very subjective, individual to individual. Some person might have 15 minutes, another person will have 1 hour. And you have to be really looking at, okay, so how much of time realistically can I spend on myself, on exercise, so that I could feel better? Yeah, even like 10, 15 minutes workout would do. And it could be not just simply yoga, it could be combination. You can do on one day yoga, on one day stretching, on third day you can do something more physical, something like, just few exercises, squats and push-ups and press-ups, and some core exercises as well. Because we need to understand that yoga, it will help you to relax your muscles, but as staying indoors and having, in most of the times, if you are staying indoors and you have a sedentary job where you sit in front of computer all day long, you need to be thinking about, all right, so what muscles do I need to target as well? Probably back muscles, probably your hip muscles as well, and work on them so that you could avoid back issues, and keep your body strong, so that you could maintain a good posture and just feel better overall. Because when we do some actual strength training exercises, this provides us with a boost of confidence, as well as stronger we feel, as more muscles we're actually feeling in ourselves, then it kind of provides us with a sense of confidence, how we hold ourselves, how you are presenting yourself during the meeting. Even when you have meeting on a Teams or on a Zoom on a video camera, it is so important that you hold yourself, properly. You don't want to be really like sluggish and really shut down. You want to be open up and as erect as possible, right? And as I said, it all comes down to, first of all, your goal, your stresses, and how much time you can commit. And then within any time frame, you can squeeze any workout. Would it be a quick yoga session? Would it be a quick stretching session? Would it be a quick strength training session? So you can do anything really. There are no limits at all.
All right. That answers my questions. Now moving on to Anna. Anna, unmute your microphone.
I absolutely agree, guys. Today, before our meeting, I just 15 minutes running near my place, and I have a lot of energy. It's the similar like cup of coffee, and yeah, you should join me. Yes, my second questions. I want to be on behalf of women, and I want to ask you: could you tell us a little bit about emotional eating? Because yesterday, when I was writing my dissertation, I didn't understand, but I ate 5 donuts during, I don't know, 10 minutes, 20 minutes very quickly. And I just realized that, oh my God, 5 donuts, 10 minutes. Mihail, help me what I should do now. All day running.
Yeah, so again, you're writing your dissertation, right? So it can be challenging and stressful, and probably you are very, kind of you put in your full attention and you're worried about the stuff you're doing in that dissertation, right? So it can be really stressful time. When is your deadline, by the way?
At the end of November.
Right. So this explains a lot of stuff because deadlines are coming closer and closer. You having more pressure on you, more stress, more worries, and then guess what? You are reaching out for food to reduce that stress, to have that. That's your way how you're coping with the stress during that time, right? So the first thing you need to realize is um, when you are thinking about having a donut, why are you having a donut?
I didn't think about this. I just eating my donut, 5, and drinking coffee for concentration and writing. Maybe it's habit from my student life because when I was in library in Oxford campus all the time, I observed that all students always eating and bring some food to the library. I don't know.
Yeah,
Now,
so it can be very multifactorial, because there is no a simple single answer on your question because we have to be looking at everything what's going on in your life and your previous habits and previous experiences in order to identify, all right, what is going on. Because if it's what you're saying is, the habit you developed throughout, your academic education and things like that, all right, then we need to be looking at the strategies, how you can slow down your brain in a minute, because you need to understand that you are reaching out for donut for not there is a reason behind it, and you are not doing this simply because it is a matter of habit. You are doing this in that moment simply because it is stress, some level of stress, which you want to reduce. As you're writing your dissertation, it is subconsciously, you may feel that stress, although you might not be consciously aware what is going on inside in your head. And this is why, when did you realize, by the way, that you are eating donuts?
when I finish my donuts.
Only when you finish the donuts and you realize, like, I've got no more donuts. Yeah? Okay. Now we need to come back to the question. Why do you think this is a problem for you?
Because I understand that it's increase my weight every day, eating food, chocolate, because it's my habit from my school. Because when I was young, our teacher told us that if you have you want to that your brain working very good, you should eat chocolate. That is why it's since childhood. All people know that chocolate, dark chocolate, help us thinking.
All right.
Is it correct?
Then we need to be diving into your beliefs and what you are believing in, because right now you're believing that your donuts and chocolate will make you work better. But this is simply, belief that someone ingrained inside in you and which you were practicing throughout the years. So I think first step is to, changing your beliefs, because you need to come into realization that by simply eating a pack of donuts while you're writing a dissertation, it's not gonna make you a better writer. You need to understand these things, because then you are coming into realization, like, what am I doing? Why do I do this? Right? So then you need to understand, all right, so what will happen if I stop buying the donuts? Why did you buy donuts, right?
Question, like my example with the donuts. Instead of donuts, for dissertation, I understand that the beliefs, for example, I laughed before a lot, and that stimulates me to carry on my work. However, now I switched more to tea, and but I use a lot of sugar within the tea by consuming that glucose energy, which digests inside of me. My brain works faster and faster. that's my way of dealing with stress, sugar in the tea, while working at the maximum capacity with work, mental. But then after work is finished, I kind of notice myself still using lots of sugar. And I'm like, in fact, I don't need the sugar this time because I'm just gonna go chill, watch the movie, or read the book. And that I understand the concept behind the beliefs. It is my belief that the sugar helps me concentrate and keeps me hyperactive during my analysis for my work. But what would be there as a substitutes to unhealthy products like sugar and chocolates? Are there any healthy ecological substitutes which boost your dopamine, boost your serotonin, and keep you motivated and healthy during the work time, but side effects like sugar rush, for example, which me and Anna have with the donuts and tea?
So of course, this is the the very simple way to substitute just basic sugar to something which will bring a bit more benefits to you, like fruits and dry fruits and raisins and all that stuff, which can give you a bit of sugar kick. But obviously, you just need to understand what beliefs you have inside in your head right now. This is the major limiting factor, because all you need to do, you need to be focusing a little bit on your mindset and having that stress reliever every day. Would it be exercise? Would it be 5 minute meditation or something like that? But you can't really run away from who you are, because you think that you will having a sugar, 5 cups of sugar with loads, 5 cups of tea with the sugar, and you think this will make you work better. But in the end of the day, sugar probably is going to be nothing to do with that, right? Because sugar, it has short-term spikes. It's not going to be like driving you all the time. So your sugar levels will come up, sugar levels will drop down, and then you will crave for sugar again, because you would be
Yes.
looking for that high again, right? But this is what comes to a little bit a addictive behavior, because you forgot how to be yourself during those times, and you got the capacity and you can do. And sugar, it's not the matter is not in the sugar. The matter is in your intelligence and your intellect and how you deal with the stuff and how you write the stuff. By having the sugar, you're not going to be a better writer or better worker.
Absolutely.
Agree.
Absolutely.
And without really coming into that realization, you're just going to be falling into the same assumptions, because you're thinking, right, this is how I kickstart my day, this is how I do this is how I do that. This is your beliefs, and this is the number one thing which you need to be focusing on, because without, regardless of what methods, what nutrition, exercise methods I'm going to give you, if your mindset is not going to be in the right place, guess what, nothing going to help you.
That's wonderful conclusion for this question, which actually moves us to the next question. Without the belief system, during the lockdown, the last one and this one, many people believe that their freedom is being restricted, that their freedom of life, the way they live their life, what the options they can choose from, is being highly restricted, which obviously had put in a lot of triggers into the belief systems and barriers. And personally, myself, I had a book to write. I'm still writing my book, and that gave me a massive relief from feeling locked. Although I was locked within the four walls, I still felt myself free, even within those four walls. What advice would you give to people on how to carry on feeling yourself independent and free based on the life choices you make, even sometimes the obvious circumstances restricting you from some choices? And how do you cope with the sense of not feeling free during the lockdown? How do you cope yourself?
So I guess the number one thing is to realize that the biggest restrictions are the ones you put on yourself. It's not like the government putting the restriction on yourself. It's yourself putting restrictions on yourself, because again, you are falling into assumption that, okay, it's a lockdown, I am stuck at home and there is nothing I can do. So, damn it, I'm gonna, fall off the wagon again. But then you need to come into realization that you can still do the stuff you enjoy. It's all about thinking about and writing down what is making you feel happier daily. So what are which get stuff we focus on external world, on the news, on what is going on, the lockdown, how many deaths we have in the UK and things like that. But what we forget is our internal world and really asking yourself questions like, what could I do to make myself happier every single day? So obviously you can get out for walks. You don't need to be stuck at home every single day without being able to get out. I would use as much as possible opportunity to get out for the walk. And also just finding your theme which would help you to feel happier every single day. So let's say how I guess this all comes down to motivation question. Like a lot of people feel demotivated these days, and they lose motivation to do anything about them. So I would ask question like, all right, so how can you make your time being at home more enjoyable? What you could do to elevate that sense of satisfaction inside of your head. Again, focusing on maybe a little bit of meditation, stretching and exercising every single day. This will boost your mood, this will shift your mindset, and actually you're going to be feeling happier and more freely, right? Because you don't want to put that thought of, all right, I'm not free right now into your mind, because you are free. You're still free. You are still free to do the stuff. The only thing you can do is go to the gym, go to work, let's say, if you've got like a workplace which is shut down. But you can go out, you can go for a walks and go for a runs, and is it not the freedom?
Um, with your speech, you reminded me of a book I once read, the 400 something Fahrenheit. I don't
Uh-huh.
remember, but it's there was a dialogue of two people. One asked, "What do you do in your free time?" Other answered, "I cut the grass." What if another one asked again, "What if cutting the grass would be banned by the law?" Other one said, "Then I will watch how the grass grows."
Uh-huh.
It's still the freedom of choice, and it's wonderful example you mentioned that the people look in outside world looking for freedom, but actually the lockdown gave all of us amazing opportunity to look inside for that freedom.
You can always focus on either, so you have every situation, you can take it as a stress and be very anxious and worried about what's going on, or you can take it as an opportunity. So what opportunities this situation will provide to you? Let's say myself, I love lockdown. I love I love being in a lockdown, because before the lockdown I was going for work 6 a.m. in the morning and coming back 8 o'clock at night. Yeah, so I had no time. I was like running like a hamster in a wheel all the time. Right now, I have so much time. I am around the house. I can go out for a walk. I can take my son to school, bring him back from school, spend amazing time, and it's just great. And also, this allowed me to focus more on my online business, which I always wanted to do, but I had no time for it. So it's always up to you. You either use this situation as an opportunity or as a stress, and it's down to you which direction you're gonna go.
All right.
Absolutely agree,
Yeah.
because during first lockdown, it was a good opportunity to improve my knowledge in business English language, because I just came from this country. It was March and I just came in January. And during the first lockdown, I was reading a lot. I was spending all my time this my books and lessons in university at the university. And very interesting point that I bought a bike, and I rode a bike every day on the hills and different interesting places. I explored Gloucester, Cheltenham, everywhere. I was absolutely everywhere. But when I asked my classmate, what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, people sitting at home. But I think my first lockdown was amazing, really. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mikhail, I want to clarify about emotional eating. I understood that it's just my belief. Recommend me something. Okay, when I'm writing my dissertation, I always nervous. I want to eat. I don't know eat, but now I understood that I need to just change my product. Donuts, for example, maybe for carrots. Recommend me something.
No, it's again, you are falling into the same assumption that you need to eat food, but you need to learn
No.
how to cope with the stress without eating food, because this is how you are trying to run away from the stress. But by eating food, you're not dealing with the stress itself. I would say, first of all, you need to become more mindful about your emotions and be able to, all right, I'm writing dissertation, I've got urge to eat, right? I've got some sort of willingness to eat food. I would pause for 5 minutes, let the writing, aside, put it aside, and I would be sitting and thinking, what do I feel right now? What emotions do I experience? Right? What do I feel in that moment? Like, am I feeling stressed, anxious, worried? What is that? I would write everything down and just be really, just observe everything, all the emotions you are experiencing, right? And pause yourself in the moment and take a few deep breaths in, just breathe and try to relax a little bit. And you need to realize that food is not the solution. You think it is, but it is not. And you need to learn how to cope with all these stresses by yourself without actually running away to food and seek the comfort behind the food, right? Because without yourself realizing that food is just the consequence, you regardless of what you substitute in your sweets and the donuts, you're still gonna have that problem inside in you. Do you
Um,
understand?
yeah, yeah, we do. Um, just to summarize, as we walk into this, um, you know probably that the UN announced the sustainability problems and the goals to uh, improve the life of the people, uh, and the sustainability nowadays is the key goal for many. You look like a sustainable person who has his life on the go for himself. Advice would you give to our community? Around seven, yeah, let's say seven advices, the key aspects, what had helped you and how to carry on developing yourself.
Seven advices.
Five, maybe.
Okay. That's all right. So first of all, we're talking about developing yourself as a professional, as a business kind of person who deals with a business and the things like that. Yeah. I would first of all, I would explore what are you passionate about? What do you love to do? What do you enjoy to do, and what you are good at?
Hmm.
Okay, I would be looking at into those aspects. What I love to do, what I'm good at, and what I want to do. All right, so be very kind of analytical and careful with that, and be really honest with yourself, right? Because in order to succeed in any business, you need to have passion. You have to love what you do, because this way you're going to be motivated every single day to do the work. Although in the first stages this may not be as financial rewarding as you would like it to do, but because you are loving what you're doing, you have the passion for it, you're still going to be doing it until you succeed, right? So I would be looking really into exploring what you're good at, what you love to do, what you want to do, and really identifying your passion what is a true passion. It could be anything, right? Because so many times you can fall into assumption that actually, all right, I'm going to choose this profession because they're getting paid more. But then guess what? You lose your motivation, you lose your drive, you lose your happiness. You're not going to be happy as a person because, yeah, you may succeed and get some more money, but then in the long run, you will be unhappy simply because you're not enjoying what you're doing every single day. Yeah, because right now I wake up every single morning, regardless how many hours I need to spend on my business, I don't take it as a work at all. It's like I enjoy my time. I enjoy everything what I do. I don't find like crap, I need to get up and do the work, Never. I'm just loving it. And I think it's a number one thing for me. I don't know, maybe some people will think differently, especially I know that people from Eastern Europe and from the countries where the life can be a little bit tougher, in a sense, they fall into assumption, all right, the good job is a job which brings more money.
Yeah, it's like not the hobby, it's the duty. Which...
In the end of the day, if you're going to be looking back when you're going to be 70 years old, right? If you're going to leave all your life doing the job which you are not loving to do, if you are spending 40 hours, 50 hours, 30 hours a week on something you are not loving, and maybe at some point you even will be hating it, is it going to make your life happier? Is it going to make your life worth of all these struggles? So this is the question like number one.
When you by the end of your life on a beach, looking back, is drinking some martini, observing the waves, looking back at your life, would you regret it, or would you just, I live this simply how I wanted it?
Because the passion, this is what gonna drive your motivation every single day to do the work, and this is what gonna put you in the creative environment where you're gonna be as creative as you can be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this gonna open up your creative mind, because you're doing this interviews now because you are passionate about it.
Definitely.
Right? Although
it's pay us at the moment, but we still want to do it.
Yeah, although this is not bringing you, I guess, any money at this point, but in the long run, in the long perspective, who knows where it's gonna take you? You never know,
That's true.
And this is what drives the motivation every single day. This is your passion and passion inside yourself, which you just need to follow. Of course, you need to be earning money as well, and you need to have something, to survive and things like that. But in the end of the day, your passion, this will make you succeed in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know for how many tips and advices we can put under the answer.
I think there was more than 7.
Yeah, I think that's the one, the big one. I think this is the biggest one, and I'm so happy that because back in the days I was studying electrician. I'm a qualified chef. I changed 20 or 30 jobs throughout my life. Literally throughout working in the UK, I was working factories, warehouses, different types of jobs, and you can't imagine what I've done. And I'm so happy that in the later stages in my life, I came to all of this, because this gave me amazing experience throughout my life and developed me as a person. And now I can really help people in a better way, I guess, taking this all what I went through into something I'm passionate about.
It's wonderful to see how people survive through changes, but in the end of that survival process, they come to realization that it's time to start just simply living, and not only surviving every day and going on to your duty work, just bringing passion, bringing something lively.
I guess younger people, I don't know who is like in early, and things like that, I would advise to go and try yourself in a different, do different work, do different stuff, try, see, get that experience, appreciate the work people do. And then, yeah, it's all right if you already have that passion and you know for sure that what you want to do. But some people may be a little bit unsure. 1 year they think one thing, 1 year they think other thing, and they can't really find themselves. I would say the best thing is just get out there, do different jobs, and take that as a learning experience.
Wonderful advice. Anna, unmute yourself.
Misha, I invite you to interview only because I observe you in Facebook and understand that you're a very passionate person. You're crazy about sport and you like it.
Yeah, throughout my life, I was always active. So I was always into sports and things like that. Although, I never was a perfect person in terms of, I tried everything and alcohol and and drugs and everything back in the days, and
No one's perfect.
I never positioned myself to be a perfect person who is really going throughout life and having a perfect background and never done anything against the common understanding of most of the people. But I think so easy life is not interesting. Easy life, easy background is never interesting, because what makes you
what is it, easy life?
Easy life is like when everything falling into your arms all the time, and you don't face the struggles on your way, and you don't overcome the struggles because you never learn from it, because you are learning from your failures and your struggles. And I think that's the only way to kind of, well, not the only way, but that's the way how you can develop yourself as a personality as well in the long run. Because I believe that my struggles back in the day, because I was struggling with loads of stuff, I was struggling with eating, I was struggling back in the days, and right now, because I overcame all of this, I'm in a better position to help others because I understand what they are going through right now.
All right.
Okay. I think we should finish in a very positive place, in a very positive moment.
Yeah.
And I want to tell Mihail, thank you so much for our interview. I think you motivate our member in our society, in our student, our University of Gloucestershire. And you very good example how person can develop yourself and can choose better life. Yeah, thank you, Mihail.
Thanks a lot for having me. Yeah.
Very grateful to see you again, Misha.
Yeah,
And that was a lovely chat.
Yeah, good to speak to you guys.
Thank you for examples.
Thank you for watching, and all the links for Mihail will be in the description below. Join the channel, put the thumbs up, and subscribe.